In a world where there are too many comic books to keep up with, one podcast has the stones to bring you all of your comic book needs. Week by week. Book by book. One epic show. You are now tuned in to Nerd Church Radio.
All right, hello and welcome to Nerd Church Radio, DC Communion episode. Do you guys remember what episode we're on?
Nope.
I think we're on number 4 now. Hold on, I'm going to pause.
Seems like more than that.
Hold on. All right, we're on DC Communion episode 6. I'm your host, Ben Dupé.
I am Noah O'Toole.
And I'm Ariel DePain.
And we are your DC comic book overlords. So we are fresh off of the scene at Wizard World Comic Con Des Moines.
Yeah.
Which was just killer, man. It was such a good time. We actually recorded DC Mass. That's going to come out a day after this, but we talked about it a little bit on that show too. But I was working at the Mayhem Comics booth, handing out comic books. We got to meet Stan Lee, saw just tons of awesome cosplay. That was like the highlight for me, was all the cosplay.
Yeah.
All the costumes and stuff are always my favorite. I love the homemade costumes the best, you know, the ones where people are 3D printing stuff,
right.
you know, or the ones where like people just, you know, sew their own, you know, someone had a Star-Lord jacket there that they made themselves, you know?
Yep. I love the real legit homemade costumes that, you know, even if they aren't perfect, look spot on and, you know, have the homemade feel to it.
Well, and then you always have the funny ones too, like, you know, the fat Batman
right.
guys, or like, you know, the fat Spider-Man guys, or like, I mean, like, there was this one girl there who, like, it had to have been like a Baby Gap leotard. No, not Baby Gap, but she was wearing way too small. So, and like, it was just, sometimes that stuff. But then again, it's like, that's what I love about Comic-Con is like, you can go there and be weird.
You can
and
be
like,
yourself,
And like, no one really judges anyone, you know? You might get like, you know, a couple laughs or whatever, but no one's really mean. I did run into a couple of meanies, you know, a couple of creators and stuff, but mostly everyone was really nice and positive, and it was a good experience.
I actually had two really good. I had a Wonder Dude outfit. You know, I had all my Wonder Woman gear and stuff like that.
It was awesome.
Lasso and bracelets and everything. And Friday, I had two people stop me, and one of them had, you know, this little girl dressed up like Wonder Woman from the movie with all the little gear from Target, and she was just this cute little princess. Oh, and they wanted a picture, so we took a picture together. And then another couple stopped me, and the dude wanted a picture, so I was like, yeah, sure. So we, you know, posed or whatever, and then the mom said, our son really likes Wonder Woman, so that's really cool to see another dude dressed up in Wonder Woman stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome, good for him, you know. So that kind of made me pretty happy. I actually people there sometimes. That's cool.
I saw a couple things. Like, I saw a little boy in a Wonder Woman type thing, and I thought that was cool. There was another little boy that was dressed like Harley Quinn.
Oh, cool. I didn't see that.
And it was like, you know, that's cool. Like, because if a little boy says to their parents, like, oh, I want to dress like her or whatever, like, you know, like that's kind of cool that we live in a time where like the parents a lot of the times will say like, be yourself, do what you want to do.
Yeah, it's a costume. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know. It's not like the end of the world or anything, you know.
It's
Emulate
funny
your favorite hero.
I think people are just so excited they want to take pictures of everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I was just wearing like a Spider-Man dress.
Right.
And people would stop me and be like, I love your dress. Can you take a picture of me?
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely.
really?
Yeah.
Everybody's a star there. It's so great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a really fun experience. So we had a lot of fun. We got to meet Stan Lee, of course. That was
I don't know if
you call meat, right?
Yeah. I call meat.
Anybody that has the opportunity in the
him.
future to interact with him at a con, just know that his people keep things moving very quickly. You don't really get to talk to him or touch him or anything. He signs your thing or takes your picture, and you move right on.
I stuck a hand in there.
Touch the guy.
I was like, if I'm meeting Stan Lee, I'm touching him.
Right.
A lot of people, It's kind of callous to say, but a lot of people say it's kind of like a Weekend at Bernie's situation with him.
Right.
I mean,
pose with the corpse.
Yeah.
I thought he was a robot.
Yeah.
No, dude, I swear, because a couple people had photos taken with him, and I zoomed in and took a screenshot of just Stan's face on the photos, and I was scrolling between the three. Dude, they're
exactly the same.
He looks like a robot, man.
Right.
Like,
he looks like his Madame Tussauds wax statue.
Yeah, dude. But overall, I mean, like,
he's a legend. So
I really
to even be in the same room.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't really expect much less. I mean, this guy's 94 years old.
95.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, he does have slight dementia. That is, like, he really does. And this is, like, Katie from Mayhem told me this, so I think she's actually met him back in the day when he was, I think. But yeah, he has slight dementia. He, obviously very prone to, like, germs and stuff, I'm sure, so he probably doesn't want people touching him, because if he gets really sick, that could
kill him, right?
Yeah, literally.
So,
yeah, I mean, but it was just, again, nice to be in the same room as him, nice to, be around him, and just sort of like the vibe that he puts off to everyone else. It just gets everyone in a good mood or whatever, so.
It's, I actually heard that he's already recorded, like, a bunch of cameos. So
7, I think.
Oh, really? So he can
so
carry on in the future of Marvel
we'll
movies?
Still see him.
Yeah, he's recorded, I've heard that he's recorded 7 cameos.
Fun.
That makes sense. That's probably how many movies are, like, legit planned.
Yeah, like in at least pre-production or have been announced or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, what was y'all's favorite part of the con? What stuck out to you the most?
Stan.
Yeah.
Like all the celebrities. I couldn't take pictures with all of them, so I would like sneak in and try to take a creepy stalker.
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite was there, John Cusack. So,
I gotta be honest, my favorite part was Kato Kalin.
Yeah, he said that.
I just loved him so much. He cracks me up. And
who is that again?
The guy that lived in OJ's guest house and found the glove.
Oh, that's like a celebrity that was there?
That's just it. And he hosted. He was the MC at the stage.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, right when we walked in, he grabbed us and made us team beards on the trivia thing and got our names and as do this. Oh, it was just ridiculous. And then he remembered. I mean, because obviously, he just cracked me up. He's such a. I love him if he happens to be listening, which I doubt he is. He's a D-list celebrity, but he's still
awesome.
Amazing. I love D-list celebrities.
Ben, I don't think you knew this, but Brandon Routh showed up.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
He hung out with Dean Cain for a little bit.
That's just crazy. I wish I could.
Oh, man. Yeah,
and he's from Iowa. He's from Iowa, so, yep.
Yeah, I really would have liked to have met him, actually. I saw Spike from Buffy. Mm-hmm. I don't know any of these people's real names, but...
Right, Marina Sirtis, who was Counselor Deanna Troi on Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, she was a big deal there.
And,
she's a gargoyle,
and she was she voiced the gargoyle. And there was, speaking of cosplay, there was a girl there that
dressed as a gargoyle.
One of the female gargoyle character that Marina Sirtis voiced in the cartoon.
And that was amazing.
And it was amazing.
Cosplay.
It was the best one. She had these platform boots that gave her these big gargoyle feet and these extended claws and
huge wings,
and it was insane.
Really, really cool. Yeah, it was such a good time, man. I don't know. I think aside from Stan Lee, I don't know. It's a weird sort of Comic-Con because it wasn't really a Comic-Con. Like, we were literally the only people there selling comics.
That was just it. There was nobody there selling. I didn't even really kind of notice you guys had comic books for sale, but I guess I can go there anytime. But I mean, there used to be booths and booths and booths of
comic collectors that were selling from their collection.
Yep.
A certain, I won't name names, but a certain comic book shop came out there, had a table full of comics. I asked how much one was because I wanted to buy it. They were like, no, you can't buy these here. You have to go online to buy it.
Right.
It's like, why would you even bring them then? Like, I guess they had a raffle or something.
It was
to win
right.
them. Yeah, but
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah. And then there's other shops that are like, I don't know. Yeah, we got some shops I'm not huge fans of, like exploiting your teenage daughter for the good of your shop, and like dressing her up like Slave Leia and stuff. Like, I don't know. But I mean, like other than that, there were some really fun vendors. I met some cool artists. There was one guy who did these prints that I gave you one. Like, some of his artwork was just phenomenal. I thought it was like legitimate DC Comics art, but I guess it's just fan art. So.
Right. And Aunt Lucia Lucia was there, who's responsible for the DC Bombshells pinup collection. He's from Iowa. And
I met him. I actually gave him an NCR card, but I'm sure he was like, well, I don't listen to podcasts, but I still gave him one.
Yeah.
And I was like, we sometimes talk about your art on the show and stuff, but yeah, he was such a nice guy, man. He was very down to earth, talked to his fans and stuff. And Aunt Lucia is like, that's kind of Iowa's like claim to fame for comic books, I think. You know, he does.
And Phil Hester.
Yeah,
who was also at the con. I mean, he draws Green Arrow, and his design for Ant-Man made it into the movie, and he wrote Wonder Woman.
I almost feel like Aunt Lucia is kind of like almost a little bigger just because his stuff is represented in merchandise that goes beyond just comic book fans.
Sure, right.
Like some people buy those, like that Wonder Woman poster where she's flexing her arm.
Right, the Rosie the Riveter one.
Yeah, like that's something that even non-comic fans probably have hanging at their office or something.
Right.
So.
That transcends, just comic fans. That goes
it's pop culture.
Pop culture, right.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what this was. It was kind of a pop culture con, I thought. And that's okay. I had a great time. I loved it.
You see a lot of Cartoon Network characters, a lot of Steven Universe, and video game characters, and in fact, they had a video game set up there, and I got to preview Tekken 7, which comes out in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice!
So exciting!
Very cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there.
There was a video game vendor there too, selling video games. Did you see that?
Like old video games.
Yeah,
I did see that. Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
That was cool. Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to
Sega
dig
Genesis.
I will say, actually, the most memorable part of this Comic-Con was the delicious soda from Wild Bill's old-fashioned soda pop company.
Is that from Adventureland?
I don't know.
No, they're a national chain that they go around to all the cons, and they're like, actually, my favorite part of the con was just being a vendor because you get kind of special treatment. Like I got free refills all weekend on this, so I'm sure I gained like 7 pounds this weekend.
Right.
Like, all the other vendors, if they see the vendor wristband, they'll sell you stuff for cheaper. Like I got those prints for a little bit cheaper because I was a vendor or whatever.
Right,
so
cool.
they're kind of nice to their own, which was
We gotta
nice.
skip in line to see Stan too.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. I got to jump. They were like, well, if you're a vendor, you get to jump ahead of all the general population people, but not the VIP. So you're you're right before the VIP. So that was kind of like, oh wow, that's cool.
I can't argue with that.
And it also makes sense because they want to get you back to your booth to get back to work.
Right.
The concession stand, there was a vendor line that you didn't have to wait in line. You jump ahead of everyone. So that was kind of nice. So.
I married you just because I knew one day you'd be a vendor.
Good for the perks.
I know, right? It's a glamorous world in the comic book shop.
Finally paid off.
employeeism.
Yes.
Lots of toilet
Ka-ching.
scrubbing and handling crumpled up ones. So with that, I am going to move things on to the news. All right, so for news this week, I'm going to pass things off to Ariel. What do you got for us, Ariel?
So I got 3 pieces of news. They're not huge, but I mean they're newsworthy.
News is news.
Black Lightning will be the next hero to join the lineup. The series has been sold to Fox, which is the home of Gotham. The pilot,
Black Lightning?
yeah,
Oh, so he's not on the CW?
yeah, but it'll premiere on Fox.
Well, then
Oh,
that
that's
would mean
weird.
it's on Fox. That's weird. I thought it was a CW show.
It is, but I wonder if this article's wrong because it's saying going to premiere on Fox.
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear. I feel like I heard somewhere that it wasn't part of the CW, like the Arrowverse,
Right.
But I thought it was still on CW. But I guess that makes sense if it's on Fox that it's not part of the Arrowverse.
That would make
so.
sense because Gotham's kind of its own little thing too.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's its own-
The pilot for the show, which will center on a veteran and a now retired hero, an urban legend named Black Lightning, aka Jefferson Pierce, played by a fairly no-name Chris Williamson. So, did you watch the trailer for it?
I didn't.
Yeah, it looks very much like they're trying to sort of encapsulate the sort of bulletproof black man vibe that Luke Cage had. You know, they're very much emphasizing like the hood life type thing, and like that's cool. Like I
Right.
mean, that's a perspective to take on it. I guess I don't know much about Black Lightning, the character.
That's just it. I applaud them for taking like the step in the direction of making a black superhero led show. But I just don't know much about Black Lightning other than I've seen his pictures and obviously I know he's got the lightning related powers
Yeah.
and things. But otherwise, he's not featured in many comic books, and I don't know a lot about him.
So he was going to be on Fox, it says, but they moved it to CW.
Okay, so this must be an old article.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know that not knowing much about him, that can actually work to its benefit. I mean, I knew nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy before I saw the movie, and that meant I was going into it with no expectations.
Right. And where everybody knows about Batman, and so when they watch Gotham and see things, they're like, "This isn't what I want."
Exactly.
I don't like this.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Did you ever watch Sky High?
I know it. I absolutely know it. And, yeah, but I don't. I mean, I've watched it straight through or anything.
This trailer felt kind of that same corny
vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of getting a little bit, as much as I hate to say, I'm getting a little bit of superhero exhaustion with not in general, just with the CW verse and stuff. I feel like Legends of Tomorrow, I started to feel it, and I stopped watching all the shows consistently.
Right.
Like I do what you do now. I drop in and out.
Yeah.
Or I'll binge them all if I have a sick day or something. I'll sit there and watch all the way up to what I haven't watched or what I have time to watch. But with this now, every time I see a new spandex-clad superhero on TV, I'm like, right. Okay, more of this. I don't know. It seems like not much work goes into them, you know?
And even then, we're getting, and this might be one of your other newses, so if I butt into it, I apologize. But then there's going to be another superhero TV show coming out on Sci-Fi, Krypton.
Yeah.
That actually, the trailer that leaked for it, that actually looked pretty cool.
Well, and they certainly can be, but it's just, I mean, superhero show after superhero show. And
that looked more like a science fiction, drama.
Yeah.
And, that actually looked pretty original and cool. Did you see the trailer before?
No, I haven't. There was talk a while back of a Wonder Woman show, but said when she was young and young Amazons in Themyscira and stuff like that, and, an ancient. I think that'd be cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming out with a Gifted show. Which did you see the trailer for Gifted? It's the new.
That's the
it's the new X-Men show.
Right.
And it's just it's okay, it's good. It doesn't really look great though, and it's just I'm fine with superhero TV shows. I'm not really okay with just subpar superhero TV shows that are kind of generic and boring. Krypton is going all the way back, and it's okay, Superman's not in this, but it's going to take place in another world, so it's basically just a science fiction show that happens to belong to that universe.
The same universe.
That's cool. I can get down with that. Gotham, as much as I don't like it, I feel like it would have been better for them to not try and include so many of the current DC characters.
Right.
And they could have just made it like a noir crime show. And
right.
Maybe had a couple cameos now and then.
Right.
You know?
Would have been better.
Yeah, so sorry anyway.
They got too weird with it. Barbara
just
becoming Harley kind of.
I know, I call
That's when I stopped.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
Yeah.
So the first wave of Wonder Woman viewers are coming out on Twitter talking about the movie.
Potential
spoiler.
Yeah, potential spoiler.
No,
no.
spoilers.
Okay, cool.
The embargo, like people that get early access to review things like movies and stuff like that are under an embargo where they can't talk about it for a certain, and then a few weeks before it comes out, it can be lifted, but they still can't spoil it. They can just talk about their...
Actually, DC came out and they said they are not lifting the review embargo for Wonder Woman until the day before it comes out. So
it's already been lifted, though.
Well,
no.
Something happened because people were finally allowed to tweet their thoughts on the movie.
They can still say things about it, but the actual official reviews, the Rotten Tomatoes score and stuff, won't pop up until the day before it comes out, and that's a good thing, but it's also kind of scary because it's
I think they're just extra cautious because of the
way
reception the last couple movies have had, but this.
Yeah, nothing but positive.
I've heard people say it's the best DC film yet, which it's not hard to be, but I think that sounds harsh, but it's true. It's really not hard to be the best, but I've heard really good reactions. I'm thrilled, man. I'm super stoked for it. So.
It's hard. I almost have to pinch myself because it's so hard to believe that she's finally getting a movie that's cross my fingers and knock on wood, but that's perfect.
Yeah. It's what we need there.
Yep.
No, Hollywood director trying to take this story and put their spin on it or anything.
Right.
It's Diana of the Mascara, so that's good. So
this is nice for me because I love Wonder Woman, I do, but I've really, really disliked the previous DC movies, so I've been really skeptical. And this is the first time I'm like, okay, I'm excited.
Right,
now.
right, like yeah.
Here's a couple of the tweets from Peter. I can tell you, Wonder Woman is a very good film. Funnier, more action-packed than you're probably expecting. Gal is a perfect as Wonder Woman. A couple of people have asked, yes, in my opinion, the best DCEU film to date. And one more, smart, funny, romantic, and genuinely moving. And incredible all-female fight scenes. The Amazon's battle made me cry happy tears.
That was my favorite one. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep,
Very
a
cool.
much awaited all-female fight scene.
I
That's
know,
gonna
I
be
was
great.
like, yes.
That's,
I was wondering, who do you think it is? Like,
well, I think they're probably talking like
And
the army of the,
the training.
Amazons.
when she's training?
Oh, I think the kind of scene we saw some soldiers coming onto the
yeah.
beach, and I think we're going to see just this horde of this Amazon army come at them on, horses and stuff, and it's going to be intense. It's just going to be.
That's
I'm
awesome.
probably going to be crying the whole time, tears of joy, just because.
Yeah.
Bring
Cool.
Quinn next one,
Oh
yeah.
my god, yeah.
That's awesome.
So finally, we have something a little bit more negative. The Flash, an actor has dropped out, and they're still trying to find a director. It's between Matthew Vaughn and Robert Zemeckis, but Zemeckis has already agreed to a Universal film with Steve Carell, and they're thinking the timing's not going to line up, so it's probably going to be Matthew Vaughn if he sticks around. And Ezra Miller, he's also in the Fantastic Beast movies, so they're trying to wonder if they're going to be able to get filming in time because he's going to have to go off and do this other movie.
See, so DC films, first off, you really can't believe any rumors that you hear, because you hear a slate of movies through a rumor one day, and the next day you hear that Ben Affleck's an alcoholic and he's not wanting to be Batman anymore.
Right,
it's
right.
like I think we're gonna get some really. My hope is that Warner Brothers can get it together, and San Diego Comic-Con is in July. I'm hoping they'll announce an actual slate of movies at San. They have to do something.
Well, I
at
think
San
with
Diego
Wonder Woman,
Comic-Con.
if it's as successful as we all think it will be, I think people are going to start wanting to be a part of it.
Well, building on the Wonder Woman news, I've also heard and read rumors, that go so far as to say the next slate of movies planned, with the shift or whatever, is going to be a sequel to Wonder Woman, because it's already generated such positive
really?
reviews. And apparently Batgirl is really full steam ahead with Josh
Whedon,
which I'm surprised, but glad, I could,
totally.
because those type of things always just fall apart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it seems like it is, and so. Oh, and the Gotham City Sirens, the Harley Quinn centric one, and my God, talk about a dream set of movies. If they start going in the way of the DC ladies, I think that'll make a ton of money, because women like that and men like that, and they're the most iconic of the female heroes and supervillains in the world. So
yeah, totally. I agree. Yeah,
I've always said everyone loves a strong female.
Right.
Everyone.
Well, and speaking of sequels, we had a sequel come out this week, Injustice number 2, Volume 2. I guess Volume 2, I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know how that works, yeah.
Part 2.
Part 2.
Injustice, Gods Among Us, Part 2. So that was the game for PlayStation, Xbox that came out. Really, really fun game. Noah and I jammed on it a little bit.
Yep.
And I played through the story. I know you played through the story.
Yep, and there's a lot of replayability, because you can play through the story, and there's like a couple decision-making moments in the story, and you can go back and replay, affect your ending, so you can go back and replay those and see different endings and things, and there's a lot of customizable armor, so it encourages you to play and level up and customize your character, which is fun.
My Wonder Woman is wearing purple right now.
Yeah, the Cersei skin.
Yeah, that was the
so
next
cool.
that was the next level of color that I could get was purple.
Right.
Yeah, it was cool. What did you think of the story?
Oh, overall, I liked it. They put a lot of effort into it.
It's more effort than would normally go into because I played the Mortal Kombat stories, and they're horrible.
They're pretty.
It's like
thin.
it's just okay. Move on to the next fight. Skip this movie. But I look forward to the Injustice story because it's actually like reading a comic book. I mean, it's stuff that you would never get in an action movie, like a live action movie.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to see it play out in sort of a virtual reality type way.
Yep.
So obviously your favorite character is Wonder Woman, I'm assuming.
Yeah, definitely. I got her already. I got armor that makes her look like the comic book and movie kind of version, with the skirt and the armor and the boots and stuff. And so of course she's who I'm best with, but my favorite's Poison Ivy.
Really?
Oh, she is so cool in that.
Yeah.
But her combos are a lot harder to pull off. The Wonder Woman's got some pretty straightforward combos, and they're pretty easy. But
see, I have trouble with Wonder Woman's combos because, like, Batman has a combo where it's like, what is it? It's like square, triangle, and it bounces you up, and then, like, you can juggle them from that. I can't figure out how to do a combo with Wonder Woman where it, like, bounces you up, and then you can juggle them or whatever. I'll have to have you show me some stuff.
Yeah.
So
the lasso, the back, I think back and square, down and square, depending, especially if they're kneeling, we'll do a knock up with the lasso. And,
okay, cool.
And stuff, a couple shield moves.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I love playing with her too.
Right.
Batman's always kind of been my Batman and Green Lantern. Yeah. I try not to play with Green Lantern though, because I tend to fall into those like cheap shot moves where I'm like doing the same thing over and over, and I know people hate that. I heard you talking on Glitch Therapy today about, like, I got into a King of the Hill match at like 2 a.m. I got off work, and a friend of mine, a Facebook friend who, like, he was on a comics podcast a long time ago, and we friended each other on Facebook. He's just a college kid, and it tells me who's online. He was the only one online, so I joined a King of the Hill match. They were all trying to fight this guy who he was just dark side every time, and he'd just back into a corner and shoot at you. And I waited for like 10 minutes to fight him. I lost in like 30 seconds because that's all he did, and I just freaking left right away because it's like, I don't want to, like, why would you want to do that?
I know. I can't tell you how. I mean, that happened 3 times to me. For anybody that might not listen to Glitch Therapy, I had a Superman do that with the laser beams, just stood in the corner, zapped, and the assassin. Deadshot did it, and Captain Cold just stood there and
shot
their
gun.
Right, their projectiles, and it's like I was so just because I worked, I beat my way up, a person to the ladder. I'm like, oh, I'm finally the king of the hill. And the next person I get does that, and your heart just sinks because you want to fight, you want to play, you want to fair, and this person just. And it's not cheating because the game lets you do it, but it feels like you were cheated. It's a bummer.
Were you on a microphone with them at all?
I plugged in my microphone at the end, and I doubt they could hear me because they probably know what they're doing to mute it before it even starts, so they can't hear people bitch at them for their cheap moves. But I was like, I'm not playing anymore with you. That's cheap or something like that. I can't remember. I try not to get too bad because it's just a video game, but it's like,
I said that into my microphone. Like when I left, I was like, I mean, like. They were all talking because someone had basically hijacked their King of the Hill, like some other gamer they didn't know joined it.
Right.
But I was like, man, this is boring, you guys. Like, no one's gonna want to play with you if you just sit there and take cheap shots all the time. Like, it's not a game at that point. It's just like, okay, you figure out a way to cheat the system.
You become a troll at that point.
Yeah, and it's like, what? I don't even know why that's fun for anyone else either. So, other than that, though, I mean, the game's really fun. The story mode's really fun.
Graphics are amazing.
Graphics are just twice as good as the original one, so it's super fun to watch. Even if you don't like playing video games, I still would like just go on YouTube and watch the super cut of the movie of the story mode.
And on the other end, even if the story's too weird for you with all the whatever, it's just fun to see superheroes fight each other. You know what I mean? That's the fun part about the game is fighting superheroes.
So. and in really cool and comic book accurate ways too.
Right.
So, all right, we will move things on to some of the book reviews. All right, so for book reviews, first off this week, we are going to talk about The Button. We talked about this on DC Mass, but you haven't heard that yet. That's going to be up next, or in a day or so. So first off, Button, writer on this, Tom King, artist Mitch Gerards, and Batman number 23. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Batman. I'm sorry. I'm talking about The Flash number 22. Story by Joshua Williamson and art by Howard Porter. Sorry, this switch back and forth between Batman and Flash has me confused. So Barry and Bruce are furiously chasing after Thawne to try and stop him from approaching his death, but of course Thawne doesn't listen. He's arrogant and full of himself and won't believe anything that Flash says. Just as Barry and Bruce are about to go catch up to Thawne, the cosmic treadmill breaks down and Thawne makes away as Barry and Bruce are left to get lost in time. So Thawne then catches up with, where we know is his death. he approaches in this, like blue space or whatever, and he says, "Hey, I know you're there. You're unlike anything I've ever felt before. You're putting off an energy, and I don't really know what he wants, or I don't really know what his purpose is in approaching this being, but he looks up and he's like, oh my God, I didn't know, and like he's like, please don't kill me, I don't want to, and like he just gets obliterated, torn apart. So back with Batman and Flash, just in time, Jay Garrick shows up out of nowhere to save their lives. Jay delivers them back to the Batcave in one piece. Barry has no idea who Jay is. He reaches out to touch Jay and try to recollect any erased memories of him, and just as he touches Jay's arm, Jay explodes into the Speed Force, just as Barry and Bruce are about to be lost in the time stream. The final sequence of the book shows the button being held by Dr. Manhattan's blue hand. We get a quote from Watchmen of Dr. Manhattan talking to Silk Spectre or Laurie, saying, "Why does my perception of time distress you? Everything is preordained, even my responses. I'm just a puppet who can see the strings." Then a couple pages zooming in on the button. The red and yellow slowly morph into the red and yellow of Superman symbol, and a final quote saying, "There are poisons that bind you and poisons that open your eyes," by August Strindberg. And that's where we leave off. So that's the button. That's what we got. That's the big reveal. What do you guys think?
I like the discussions. It's me and Ben have been going at it on what's Manhattan going to do. Why is he here? So, I mean, even though we didn't get a lot of resolution, it's...
I think it traded one event for another event.
Yes.
I mean, we just, wrapped up, yet didn't wrap up the button and just transitioned it instead into what's it called, the Doomsday Clock.
Yeah. And I think that's what this was. I mean,
a
like,
setup for it to begin with.
Yeah, and I don't like, a lot of people feel shortchanged. I don't, because it was 4 issues, and I really didn't think they were going to give us much in 4 issues. I mean, that's such a short amount of time. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure that the power of the button belonged to Dr. Manhattan. I was thinking maybe it was the Anti-Monitor or something like that. Right. So them revealing that it was Dr. Manhattan, really, that was enough for me. I mean, seeing that blue hand, that was plenty. That got me excited.
The answer, yeah.
And really got me thinking that I and you guys know about my theory about this, but I think Dr. Manhattan is the god of the DC universe. I think that's the reason that Thawne would kind of be like, oh, I didn't know, like, you were our creator or whatever, like, because but I don't know. That could be one direction they take it. It could be something completely different. So, I overall, I really enjoyed this issue, though. So, what? Any last thoughts on this issue?
Yeah. No, kind of the same. I'm just left still. My head. I mean, it was good, and all that. I think a lot about your theory. The only thing that I don't want to say bothers me about it, but also is explained by it, is that, I mean, the Watchmen weren't even created until like 1984, 85 or whatever. And so if they go with the direction of having Dr. Manhattan be the god of the, or the creator of the DC universe, or however, you want to look at it, it just, I know I'm thinking chronologically, but it doesn't, with characters that were created in the 30s or whatever, but he doesn't see time linearly. Yeah. So, I mean, did he create them before he existed himself? I mean, how meta is that? So,
or does Watchmen exist in the DC universe? Is that another world, and Dr. Manhattan actually created a multiverse from that world, and he was the one who created the multiverse? I mean, there's a whole... Right. I mean, or maybe he just created that Earth. And there's multiple Earths, and maybe just the way that he perceives time and space, he's able to create a singular Earth that is
created
just
rebirth out of what already,
like out of the multiverse or something. I mean, there's a whole slew of directions I could take it in. The DC Comics has never really addressed like how the universe was made. All they've ever shown was a blue hand creating the universe, and that was back in the Golden Age or the Silver Age,
before Watchmen.
Yeah, before Watchmen. So that's not a Watchmen hint or anything. That's just that was their way of depicting like how the universe was created or whatever. So, I don't know. I mean, it presented a lot more questions than answers, and honestly, like, I'm just around for the ride, and this one took me on a fun ride. It was a fun Flash story and a fun Batman story. Right. I got a little bit of Watchmen, just a little taste, and then I found out that Jeff Johns is going to be writing Doomsday Clock, which I love Jeff Johns. So, I mean, that's enough for me now. So,
yeah.
I got very few complaints. I gave this one a holy... Oh, we do have a rating system here. Let me play that so you guys know what I'm talking about.
If a comic book is bad, we rate it as blasphemy. If the book is good, we give our blessing. If the book is not bad, not good, but just kind of meh, we rate it as stuck in purgatory. If the book is great, we rate it as holy. And if a comic book exceeds all standards of awesomeness, we rate that book as salvation.
Yeah, so I give this one a holy. I think it was a really great story arc. It was a lot of fun, and I got everything I expected out of it. What would you rate this one, Noah?
This one I'm unfortunately going to sit out the rating. DC didn't include copies in our review things to keep it a surprise, which makes sense. And I just haven't made it to the comic book store to pick up my books yet.
You didn't read the fourth one?
I haven't actually read it, but instantly the Wednesday it came out, I mean everything, including pictures and things online, so I was able to, I read, the synopsis, know all that happened and all that, but I actually haven't read the book, so I don't,
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. What about you, Uri?
I love that they threw in the Watchmen kind of esque thing,
right,
where they put a quote from someone else at the end.
Yeah,
it
that's
made
a very
me feel
Watchmen
like I was
thing.
18 years old again, reading Watchmen for the first time and just being like, so I still give it a salvation.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not at salvation yet. I don't think it deserved a salvation, but I think it was a great book. I just don't think it wasn't impactful enough to give a salvation for me. But that's not to say it wasn't awesome. It was really good. So, all right, we will move things along here to Batwoman.
All right, Batwoman number 3, story by Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion IV, and we got art by Steve Epting. This one's called The Many Arms of Death, Part 3, If I Had a Heart. So what's happened so far, the search for the Monster Men virus has led Batwoman to Coriana, an island nation inhabited by mercenaries and gangs. Batwoman shares a complicated history with the island and its inhabitants, most notably its missing leader and Batwoman's former lover, Sophia. So Batwoman, as Kate Kane, is visiting the Cali Corporation, also known as the Many Arms of Death, to investigate its mysterious act of buying up all the property on Coriana and its connection to the Monster Men virus. The Cali Corporation is run by a pair of creepy siblings with an even creepier incest vibe. They claim to be twins, even though they have different mothers, but were apparently born at the exact same time on opposite sides of the globe, at midnight and at noon.
Okay.
And they go by the names Elder and Younger. Yeah.
That's weird.
It is very weird. It was very, very weird. The assassin Knife works for the Cali Corporation. That's who's kind of been the thorn in Batwoman's side throughout this investigation. Mm-hmm. And she's been spying on the meeting this whole time. She leaps from the ceiling and slices out this transmitter that Kate placed underneath the table. Elder and Younger flee as Batwoman battles Knife. Julia Pennyworth was able to retrieve some intel before Knife destroyed the transmitter and discovered that the island has been rigged with explosives and will soon be blown sky high. With the surprise help of Sophia's former gang, Batwoman is able to stop Knife and the Many Arms of Death from destroying the island. At least for now. Next, we get Black Star.
Cool.
So for me, once again, Batwoman delivered on a story that was all wrapped in mystery, romance, adventure. The art, like I say every time, is one of the best in DC books. Marguerite Bennett and James Tynion, I did some research on them, and both have won. Marguerite was nominated for a GLAAD award, and James Tynion actually won a GLAAD award, which is an accolade given by the LGBT community, transgender community, that recognizes, proactive steps and representation and stuff for LGBT characters. And I love that they've taken that, though, and Batwoman goes just even beyond that and is beyond the topic of her sexuality, and they really in this book gave her a chance to shine as her own character with complicated issues and a past that ties things together and gives us a heroine we all love and deserve. And I am so glad to be reading this book, and I gave it a holy.
Nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was kind of like it was less of an action-packed issue and more of like a step back and investigate and really. I mean, there was
some detective work.
Yeah, there was a lot of meat in this one as far as just like sort of laying out the story for you and stuff. A lot of exposition and stuff.
And the whole elder and younger thing, that is just so creepy that it, the way I talk about it makes me maybe sound like I'm a little off-put by it or something, but like, I mean, it works so well. They're just such creepy villains for Batwoman to fight that it's.
Did you see the
fitting.
bingo card?
Yeah, and that was hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah, Julia Pennyworth, which is Batwoman's assistant, is that they did like villains bingo or something like that. And crazy incest vibe gave her a bingo. And yeah.
That it was just really cool. Some of the artwork was just when she goes soaring off that building, and then like the panel where she's like flying through the sky. And it's kind of like a crooked panel with like her going outside the panel.
Right.
It's just such a well drawn panel. I mean, this book is just really it's kind of special to Batwoman, and it's kind of made me, like. Before this book came around, I was like, I don't really dislike Batwoman. I don't like her either. I just don't know her, So this is kind of like giving me that opportunity to like know her a little better and like and get related to like what she's like and what her backstory is. And
it's
stuff
a great.
So is her skin that white naturally?
I would go with no. She's very, very pale skinned, but when she's Batwoman, I think she applies. Like an extra layer of like white makeup to
because when she walked in the bank, I was like,
when
she
she's
looks
not
like Batwoman.
Yeah, when she's not dressed up like Batwoman, her skin still looks really pale. So I mean it's just one of those things. I think comical thing. I don't think like if you did that in a movie, she would probably look normal when she was. They
probably tried to pick a actress. I can't think of even. I mean, I can picture her, but I can't think of her name. But that's got pale skin because even in previous incarnations, she's just always really pale. So that just must be something inherent to her character design.
Yeah, for sure. So I give this one a holy though too. I genuinely enjoyed it. Yeah. What about you?
I give it a blessing. I think just because I read it right after I read the button.
Oh yeah.
So I think
coming off that high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I can see it teetering that because there was a lot of exposition in it, but it's still a really fun comic for me. I've enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
When you're writing a legit mystery, which I feel this kind of is in the way you got to have a little bit of extra writing, to build up some suspense.
Yeah, it can't all be like action packed chases and stuff, which this series has had its fair share. I mean,
lots. Yeah,
there was some pretty cool chases between this assassin and Batwoman and stuff. But I mean, you have to have some of the exposition.
We rate just that issue.
Yeah,
like as a whole, Batwoman's definitely holy for me. But this issue is just a little bit more of a slow burn.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, cool. So we will move things on here to Aquaman.
Okay. Aquaman, written by Dan Abnett, pencils by Scott Eaton, colors by Gabe Eltab, and inks by Wayne Fotcher, I think. After a spat with Strange and Deadwater, Mera and Aquaman head home to an eerily empty Atlantis. There they discover the murderous Coram Wrath, who is the leader of the Deluge. Which was a fiercely xenophobic and traditionalist Atlantean terror cell that tried to attack the U.S., but was stopped by Aquaman. Aquaman and Mera pounce into an attack, but are stopped by Elder Liot. The elders have decided that Arthur's actions are too progressive for their kind, and that his loyalties no longer belong to them. To replace him, they've elected the murderer, Coram Wrath, to take the king's place. In a fury, Mera and Aquaman storm off, but Aquaman isn't going to give up his throne that easily. So this got super political, and I'm a huge fan of Aquaman. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of Aquaman. But the politics is kind of starting to wear on me. And if you want to go political, I think you need to relate it to more our society, because this is just like, okay, we get it.
Right. Right. This, I feel, has a little bit more Game of Thrones politics to it. You know what I mean? Like warring kings and
exactly.
Almost, even though it's underwater, it's almost more medieval.
Yeah. Like they decided that Aquaman doesn't be the king, so they will release all the prisoners.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we saw Mira and Aquaman in the last issue kind of a lovers squad, but they're fine now.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing. I don't know. I can see why this is kind of on the lower end of the sales.
Yeah, and like that was when I dropped off on Aquaman. Does this start a new story
It
arc?
does.
Okay, so I can pick up. So
Yeah.
I'll probably pick this one up and start reading it then. But when I stopped reading it a while back was when they started to get really political in the Atlantean thing, and it just got so boring, like trying to keep up with what they're talking about and stuff. And I'll start back reading it with this issue. I haven't this week yet because of the Comic-Con, but yeah, that was kind of what drove
The only
me
thing
off
you
it.
would need to know, the guy that they want to put in charge in the orange and blue, he's the one that led the attack on the U.S.
Okay.
That was called a deluge. Another thing that really weirded me out was like the elders are like, "You're too progressive. You're too ahead of our time." It's like, really?
Yeah.
That's what
Who says that?
Yeah.
Right.
There's still a civilization. Every civilization wants to move forward.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I give it.
It feels like something like, if that was the thing where it's like, if you are too progressive, like you wouldn't be aware of the fact that you're saying you're too
not
progressive.
That's
yeah.
right.
You'd just be like, no, this is wrong. You know, like,
Exactly.
yeah. So I can see that.
Yeah, so I gave it a blessing.
Did you?
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I gave it a blessing too. I really like the art. Again, there were some great
yeah.
pictures
Yeah, just-
of Mira and Aquaman, splashing
Yeah.
into the water and stuff like that were beautiful.
Yeah.
And I did kind of read it with a Game of Thrones thing in mind. Maybe I'm just anxious for the new season to come out. But
Yeah.
the people that were like, you're too progressive or blah blah blah. I think of them as like the sparrows and the cardinal.
We don't
Oh,
watch
yeah,
it.
we
You don't watch Game of
Game of
Thrones, okay? So if anybody's listening, you know what I'm talking about. But
Yeah.
I'm the lone Game of Thrones fan at the table. Okay,
Yeah, we've tried so many times. I can't get into it. All my friends think I'm nuts because like I'm the only person I know who doesn't like it. But yeah, that fantasy genre is just hard. It's a hard sell for me because
Sure.
I'm more into like superheroes and sci-fi and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I gave it a blessing also, though, but I liked it. But yeah, it was wordy and
I will say
Same
the artwork with what you were saying, the artwork is really well done. I mean, like the splashing sort of, and it's a very colorful issue.
yeah, underwater. See, that's the colorful. Everything's and
And it's like
underwater.
a Green Lantern's level of colorfulness.
Speaking of Aquaman, did you guys? Well, I know what you did, Ben.
Yeah,
Mira's,
the Mira.
yeah.
Yes, that
Yeah.
almost seems too good to be true. Also,
The one thing I would say is her hair was wet, which I'm just curious how they're going to play this Atlantis thing because like I always think their body doesn't really take in water like normal people do.
oh, I always pictured when they got
yeah.
out of the water, they'd be
Wet?
wet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't.
Yeah, no, that's so interesting, though. I love conversations like that. Those
Yeah.
is how you think heroes would really be in real life and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
thought about that, and I mean, I totally see that.
'Cause
But
I think water it doesn't affect them the same way they do, and like because they don't have gills.
sorta, right.
So like in my head, it was kind of like
Yeah, but
They'd come out dry.
what's that word when it's like resistant, water resistant?
Oh yeah,
kinda
like
bounces
a
off?
they got a
kind of
like a duck.
like a Green Lantern construct.
Yeah,
or
kinda.
when they're in
Yeah.
space. Or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, no, they definitely get wet.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can see in
And
like
you can see
the
it dripping off
Justice-
of her hand.
in the
picture, but-
in the Justice League movie trailers, you see Aquaman. He's like being hit by water, and his hair is wet and stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, I mean, they take in water. They have to. They have to drink water.
I'm just curious how they're going to talk.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
thing
my
for
big-
me.
But she
yeah.
looked awesome.
But yeah, and
Yeah.
I just that outfit, her girls in that outfit. I mean, that was spot on. Mira, it's just wow. Amber Heard looked fantastic.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
just
She looked
she could have been
straight out of the
straight out of the
comics,
comics, straight out. That was
Yeah. And
gives me a lot of hope for the movie.
We saw that one picture of her as Mira with Zack Snyder, and it was very like Zack Snyderified,
Right.
where
Grimmy
it was
and-
very dark and grimy, and actually even a fan like brightened it up, and that became more popular than
Right.
the actual picture. So seeing like an actual one where it's bright and colorful and stuff, that gives
Yeah.
me hope that the movie will be more like bright and colorful and stuff too.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, we will move things on here to Injustice 2 number 2. So weird to say that. So written by Tom Taylor, penciled by Bruno Redondo, colors Rex Locus, and inks Juan Albarrán. And man, I wish this creative team would move to Justice League so bad. Like, they can handle it with all the
Right.
characters. It would just be such a good team for the Justice League book. But Excuse me. So Batman takes control of the Suicide Squad and quickly eliminates those squad members he decides are useless, which was kind of messed up to watch. But Calendar Man was just like, that was so funny. He was sitting there like, oh, please don't kill me. And like the bomb in his head wouldn't work. This very odd version of Batman leads the team and a group of mercenaries to the Pentagon. Batman's suddenly confronted by the real Batman, but where did fake Batman come from? Fake Batman takes down Batman with ease, but leaves him alive. The now very injured real Batman is collected by Babs and Lucius Fox. He wakes up in a hospital bed and tells Babs and Lucius about what just happened. Lucius shows him part of Lex Luthor's will, which is like a Princess Leia-style hologram that leaves all his resources to Bruce, which should help him rebuild. Black Canary comes into the room to see Bruce. She brought along with her the alternate Earth Oliver Queen, and they decide that this Oliver Queen can take over the life and assets of this Earth's deceased Oliver Queen. Meanwhile, Evil Soup's cell is cracked open, and it is only a matter of time till he gets out. So yeah, this book's fantastic though. I absolutely love it. I'm so glad that they started a new, cause I used to read the Injustice comic books and I fell off of them back, a couple of years ago when I stopped reading comics for a while. Mm-hmm. And I'm so happy they created a new jumping on point, cause the Injustice comics have always been really good. I mean, like, even from the very first one, it was always just a great comic book. They always treated it really well. And it's an alternate sort of spin on the normal DC universe, right, which is really great. I am kind of curious about how Soups managed to break open his cell with Red Sun.
Well, I think it was someone broke the outside.
Somebody hit it from the other side?
Yeah.
No, because you see him, like, close his hand and punch it, and it's cracked open. Oh. Yeah, so I mean,
so I have to ask, since you guys have played the Injustice story mode, is the book going along with that story?
Not really. It's supposed to be a prequel.
Oh,
this comic book is.
Okay. Can you see like the parallels?
No,
not. I mean, other than the alliances. Batman
yeah,
and Harley have their thing, and
yeah,
Wonder Woman and Superman are their thing, and stuff. But other than.
And there was one scene in the Injustice story mode that really seemed out of place and makes no sense to me. At the beginning of the story mode, when Robin and Bruce go to the prison and Superman is free and he's herding prisoners out of the prison, then it goes off to something else, and the next scene shows Superman in jail. So they don't explain, like, if that was... they just don't really explain like when that took place or whatever. Like,
I'd have to rewatch
it.
Or rewatch the movie cinema mode. I don't.
Just didn't make sense. But overall, I mean, this comic book was a lot of fun. Just I don't know, man. I give this one a strong holy. I think it was great. What would y'all rate it?
Holy.
Did you? Yeah, I went blessing. I mean, still good story, and I like alternate universes in that for once anything can happen. Yeah, actually, but at the same time. It's an alternate universe, and I'm less excited about invested. Right. Yeah. So that's just me.
That makes sense too. I mean, it's very much like it's kind of. I don't want to say throwaway because it's not throwaway.
Right. It's very quality, but
but it's just like you're less attached to it because it's
it's not really happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So. Still a fun book, though. If you like Justice League and you aren't happy with Justice League right now, I think this is definitely a good book.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you wanted, definitely want a darker take, this is definitely the way to go.
Absolutely. So we will move things on to Trinity.
Trinity number 9, story and art by Francis Manapul. This one's called Dead Space, and we start a new story. And as we start our new story, we kind of still see a glimpse of our last actual ongoing story arc because we've jumped a little bit in some throwaway issues with Trinity in the last couple times. But it appears that White Mercy, who is the daughter of Mongol and Poison Ivy, and can manipulate the dreams of the Black Mercy, which is the plant that creates dreams of people and that had trapped the Trinity in its dream world where they witness each other's childhoods and versions of each other. They're kind of piecing together clues from their past to determine what isn't and real and what's not, and we kind of see the White Mercy in the back of the cave saying, "I'm real." So I just found that interesting, and I feel she might come to play later in some stories. But we won't know for sure because a boom tube suddenly opens, and they Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman boom to the Watchtower, where everything's in chaos. The artificial gravity's out. The trio find Cyborg near death. The Green Lantern, Simon, and Jessica are infected by this strange alien virus. In fact, the whole Watchtower seems to be infected by this virus. During a battle with the Lanterns, the hull of the Watchtower gets breached, and the vacuum of outer space sucks Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman out the hull and into space. Luckily, Batman is quickly rescued by the Flash, who we find out has been vibrating for hours to keep this virus from latching onto him. Meanwhile, Superman and Wonder Woman, who are able to hold their super breaths for a very long time, find an entrance to this alien headquarters and attached to the Watchtower, apparently. I didn't quite get that, but and are now face-to-face with this strange new creature who informs them that the Watchtower and all living beings on board have been lost to a virus which will soon spread to Earth below. And the only solution is complete and total eradication.
They're going to call it the Eradicator?
The Eradicator, right? Too on the nose.
Yeah, I know, right?
Trinity has had some ups and downs for me throughout Rebirth.
For sure.
Lots of ups, but definitely some downs, too. Most of it's been due to what I feel are inconsistent storylines from one issue to the next issue. But luckily with 9, we start a new storyline, and it actually is kind of promising. I feel like Trinity and Justice League in general have fought too many menacing aliens that foretell the destruction of Earth, and I'm super over that.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling this kind of might tie into some things going on in the Justice League upcoming a little bit, just with a warning and stuff. So I like the way he draws everything too, and I feel like having the artist also draw it gives it a cohesive read, because I feel he can express right in the art how he feels in his head. So all that just added up, and it wasn't bad, and I gave it a blessing.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on blessing. I think it's hopeful. You know, I tend to kind of pump the brakes on my hope a little bit, you know, because like it's let me down a couple times. But I think they're off to a pretty decent start here. I don't think it's great by any means yet, but I still think it was a good read, and I give it a blessing.
I was wondering how the world's greatest detective and a guy with superhearing didn't realize there's a little girl in the back of the cave.
Right.
Like, what the hell? There's some
she could have magical aspects to her that, maybe
she's not really in the...
And maybe she was not really that. Yeah. I don't know.
I was just wondering that.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I don't know either. Yeah, there has to be some kind of like mystical elements to it, and
maybe telepathically, since she was already in their minds or part of their minds, she can hide from their minds. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But
camouflage.
I did think that was an interesting twist where they found those carvings in the cave, though. That was kind of like kind of cool.
Yeah,
so.
I like the horror movie vibe going on a lot because I love horror. So
yeah.
I kind of hope they dig deeper into that. Mm-hmm. But this issue, I gave a blessing.
Cool. Same here.
Unanimous. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, we will move things on to Justice League Power Rangers.
Also written by Tom Taylor, who just did Injustice.
Oh, cool.
And written by Stephen Bryan. If you were a little lost reading this, it's because it's been months since the last issue was released, since March 8th. This unfortunate lagging may have lost a few fans. Anyway, last issue we saw that the Power Rangers coins and Zords were stolen, leaving them trapped in the Justice League universe. But now Tommy reveals that he still has his Dragon Zord. Using this, Cyborg and Billy are able to find a way to get back to the Power Rangers dimension. All a little too late, since as they arrive, the Rangers have to watch as their home is slowly shrunk down. Soon it will be added to Brainiac's collection. Without their coins, the Rangers are a little lacking in a fight. So in order to lend a hand, they have to suit up with whatever's on board. This is actually a really cool panel. The Power Rangers dressed up as Katana, Hawkgirl, Azrael, and an old Lex Luthor suit.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
I got a kick out of that. Yeah. When they face off, Cyborg's suit When they face off against Sword and Brainiac, Cyborg's suit is overtaken, and Billy sees no choice but to take out Cyborg, maybe for good. Maybe this is how DC will get rid of him. Will the two teams be able to put a stop to Zed and Brainiac, or will they be one man too short? Did you guys read this?
I did not, no.
Oh, no, I did not either. I thought Ben for sure would because he loves Power Rangers, and I could escape this time without without reading one. But
It was on my list, but with the Comic-Con, I just, there was just not enough time.
To it. Right.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I love Power Rangers.
I did flip through it while you were doing your recap, though, so I kind of get the gist.
It was, for being such a kiddie comic, there was like this really cool moment where I think it was Zach was watching his family shrink.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like really sad. He was like, no, we have to save him. I don't know. I think we're getting a lot of like Super Sons and Justice, a lot of more juvenile things that's almost wearing on me. Because like I kind of read this as like, yeah, it's fun. So I don't know. I kind of think maybe this should come to an end. It was fun. I hope maybe an issue or two more, and then
I think we're going to get 6.
Yes,
6?
it probably has a
yeah.
finite end to
Plan.
it for sure, but yeah.
Wait,
well, it's
hold
been months since the last issue, so it seemed like they're kind of playing with it, maybe.
Right.
Or maybe he was
Maybe
just too
something just
busy.
got off on the schedule and it got delayed. I mean, who knows what.
There is 6.
Okay.
Yep, 4 of 6. So we got 2 more. I will say that I enjoyed Brainiac in it. I've never read a book with Brainiac in it before. But after playing Injustice, the story mode, he's the main villain.
Right.
So I found out a little more about him, and I really like that version of Brainiac too. I don't know if that's consistent with how
it's pretty consistent, yeah.
how
with
he normally
is in general.
looks and how he is.
Yep.
A cool villain, man.
Very
smart.
He's up there with Darkseid as far as like when the bad guys come and the threat level is like red, it's either Darkseid, Brainiac, or the Anti-Monitor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brainiac's Superman, right?
He's a main Superman villain primarily.
Yeah.
Right?
So I really like it. Yeah, man. I'm gonna read it, but just from what you told me and from reading through it, which like the dialogue boxes are really light in this one, so like as you read through it, it was really easy for me to kind of see visually what was happening and stuff. And I mean,
it's definitely a fun read. I think I'm just kind of getting worn out on my Saturday morning cartoon type comic.
Yeah.
So
I can
give
see
it a
that.
blessing.
Yeah, we read a ton of comics every week too,
Yeah.
so it's like, after a while, it's like another Saturday morning cartoon. Here we go. Okay, so all right, cool. Well, we will move things on to my last book of the week, and this was kind of another Saturday morning cartoon, actually, but it was Teen Titans number 8, written by Benjamin Percy, Dan Abnett. So 3 great writers on this one. Penciled by Coy Pham, inks Wade von Graubadger, and colors Jim Charalampidis. So the Lazarus contract continues in Teen Titans number 8. Deathstroke has captured both Wally West, and he's attempting to harness the powers of the Speed Force to save his dead son. Realizing that both their speedsters are missing, the Titans and the Teen Titans have no choice but to team up and try to save their friends. Robin, being the intrusive little D-bag that he is, reveals the lie that Nightwing has been holding on to. Yeah, you wrote intrusive little runt. I said D-bag. Robin... Oh, I already said that. So Nightwing is the cause of this mayhem, all because he made a deal with Deathstroke previously. With 2 groups of such skill and power, it doesn't take them long to find where the Wallies are being held. They arrive a little too late, as Deathstroke has already accomplished his goal. Now one of the deadliest killers also has super speed. Yeah, Ariel wrote my recaps for me. I read the books, but so behind every not so well spoken guy, there's some girl doing all the work. So
I was gonna sneak in. P.S. My wife is awesome. I was like,
you just read it.
Nice work. But that being said, I enjoyed this book. It was fun. The Lazarus contract it's not really an epic, I don't think. It's more of just like, it's almost like watching Young Justice for me. Like,
right. I think they're trying to capitalize on the old fans that remember the Lazarus contract, which they made the movie off of now recently and are, I think, kind of steamrolling with that theme.
So I enjoyed it, man. I love Titans. I love Teen Titans. I love Deathstroke. I mean, it's just like combining a bunch of things.
That double splash page of the Teen Titans on one side and the Titans on the other
cool.
side. That was so awesome. Yeah,
it was.
I loved that.
Do you think that having so many big-time writers on it is kind of hindering the book in a way?
I almost wonder because I do remember, so like we were talking, some people at the Comic-Con this week were talking, and they were saying like they don't really like Dan Didio, which to me was like, why don't Dan Didio's huge? Why don't you like him? And I guess a lot of people have said like back when New 52 started, he kind of took Jeff Johns and stuck him on Aquaman and was just like, you worry about this. And like,
make Aquaman cool again.
Yeah.
Which he did. I mean, the first several issues of Aquaman.
But like Jeff Johns kind of had a vision for the bigger picture.
Right.
And like egos got in the way and Dan Didio just shoved him off. So I kind of, like, it's great to have a couple big writers on a book, but you also have to wonder when there's that many egos in play, like if there's going to be arguments or people wanting to dominate over each other or whatnot.
Right.
I don't think that happened on this book, though. I it's just something fun to think about or whatever, like how that works. Because you never picture people like sitting in a room writing this stuff. You know, we just see the comics. But overall, though, no, I think it was a great combination. Yeah, that double splash page of them facing each other is just totally epic. I loved Robin arguing with Nightwing, and you know, I loved Donna Troy holding Robin up by his cape or whatever, and just telling him what's what. You know, that was epic. Omen is always a fun thing, just sort of playing the lying cat here, or just saying when someone's lying or not. So yeah, overall, really fun story. I'm excited to see what happens when Deathstroke has superpowers. Also excited to see how this somehow ends in Deathstroke being a good guy, because that's where this is headed for him having his own like Teen Titans team. So that's going to be fun too. I gave this one a holy. I enjoyed it. What did y'all rate it?
I also rated it a holy. Yep. Cool. I think Deathstroke's Teen Titans team is going to be a little bit more Suicide Squad style Teen Titans. So yeah, but
I guess I can see that. Yeah, probably.
But we'll see. Yeah.
I think I'm reading too many comics every week. I gave it a blessing.
Yeah.
Robin's little Damien, little butthead, he's in a lot of comics going on right now.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of ready for him to grow up a little bit. Like,
yeah. I think like I'm hoping they knock out some of the bi-weekly things, because I am starting to get a little fatigued with some of them. And like, it's not like I'm tired of reading comics, because I always love sitting down to read a comic, but it's just like too much of a good thing almost sometimes.
Especially when it's the same character in like 4 different books a week.
Yeah.
Right.
It's I get your quirks. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, like I don't want too much of it, because I still want to look forward to it. So if you give me like a monthly release, like, I don't know, like a lot of times I enjoy the books from Communion more, just because we only get those characters once a month.
Right.
So I kind of like, it's like, oh, I haven't seen Batgirl in a month. Right. So like, you know, it's kind of cool to get that exposure to her every month. So yeah. All right, we can move things on here to. Oh man, I lost my notes. What's going to happen?
All right,
Harley Quinn, last book of the week. Here we go.
And boy, talk about potty humor Saturday morning cartoons. We'll end this with Harley Quinn.
I'm excited for this though, because this is something new. Like I don't think I've ever read a Harley Quinn comic, and I'm gonna hear this and then I'm gonna read it after you're done. So,
I used to. I mean, when issue 1 came out, it was on my pull list, and I collected it because I did love it, and I love Amanda Conner. It's written by Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti, who's a couple team, and they're just hilarious. But eventually dropped from my pull list just because of price and everything like that. So I'm super excited to review it again. And
how much is this one? Oh, it's $2.99.
$2.99,
okay,
yeah. And luckily we start a new story. Art is by John Timms and Joseph Michael Linsner. This is called The Blast from the Future, Part 1. The brief story so far doesn't really matter, because it's a Harley Quinn book and you can pretty much pick it up anytime and be okay.
Which is awesome.
Right. But essentially Harley's going to start a new adventure following her hijinks with the fourth wall breaking mercenary known as Red Tool. think of a certain Marvel character that rhymes with Red Tool, a cough, Deadpool, cough. Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
So it is a straight up spoof of Deadpool in the past issues.
That's
and
awesome.
She's gone toe to toe with him, and they break the fourth wall together. And if that's something up your alley, pick up the last 4 issues. It'd be like 16 through 19 or whatever, 15 through 19, and see the DC version of Deadpool and Red Tool and his interactions with Harley, because it is pretty
Nice.
funny. But anyway, he was seriously wounded in some of their last adventures, and he's laying bloody on her bed, and she's trying to take care of him and fretting about the fact that her parents are visiting in only 2 days.
So weird.
Right, exactly. Harley receives a phone call from a blocked number. It's Harley Sin, one of Harley Quinn's new nemesis. She has broken free from prison and kidnapped Harley's pals Mason and Madame Macabre. She doesn't say what she wants, only that what she wants has already been accomplished. Cue dramatic music. Dun dun dun. Meanwhile, back in Gotham City, Devani Cage, also known as Batfan, has managed to break into the Batcave and use the Bat computer to locate Harley Quinn. Once she locates her Coney Island hideout, she attacks, sentencing Harley Quinn to death for the future crime of murdering Batman. Harley and Batfan take to the rooftop to finish their fight. At first, it seems that Batfan's futuristic armor gives her the advantage, but Harley turns the tables and turns her powers back on herself and defeats, quote, the big fake Bat bitch.
Nice.
Harley loads her into the catapult. Of course, Harley has a catapult. This is a Harley Quinn book. And tosses her across the river back into Gotham, and get her mind back to the matter at hand, her kidnapped companions. And as for Batfan, she comes to midair and exclaims, "Oh no, you don't!" Next, the Blast from the Past Part 2.
Nice.
So this, Jimmy and Amanda hit their stride with Harley on day 1. I mean, it's a very wordy book, but it's full of jokes. So
Yeah.
You read Harley, talking to herself and just all this goofy things she has. She talks to her beaver a lot. And don't think dirty. I literally mean she talks
beaver.
to her beaver.
Yeah.
It's a stuffed
I was
pet
just
beaver
about saying
that
it,
she
yeah.
had on day
Yeah.
1, and it got burnt in a fire, and so now it's a burnt beaver. And
probably
trust me,
her other beaver, too.
obviously, trust me. Talk about double entendres. It is full of beaver jokes. If that sets up what Harley Quinn is about, and Poison Ivy guest stars quite often, not in this issue, but quite often in her series,
Which is an awesome team
and
up.
it's talk about the double entendres on that. I mean, it is just hilarious. Amanda and Jimmy are a riot, and I love this side because it completely takes a comic book and focuses on the funny over the action. And not that there isn't action, fighting, and blood and guts and all that crazy stuff, but it is at its core a funny book. It's supposed to be a funny comic book.
Yeah.
But definitely not a kid stuff. And but that being said, there's so much Harley. Everything's
Paul Dini wrote on this.
Yep, yep.
Oh, okay.
everything's so Harley that it's tough not to be Harley overloaded. And I am kind of picking back up where I haven't read a little bit. So I gave it a blessing with the expectation and hopes that next time it will be a holy, because I did really like it.
And this is a 17-page comic too.
Yeah,
so,
and see the Paul
and
Dini part. There's a second part that Paul Dini writes.
I like that.
And it's in its part 4 thing, and I had no idea what part 1, 2, and 3 were. So I just focused on the main part of the book. There is a second side story, but
and that side story is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So it's like 7 pages. Yeah. So I mean, really short read.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to reading it actually, because I saw there was some cool like Harley cosplay. Actually, some really impressive Harley cosplay. Did you see that girl with the giant mallet?
Oh yeah, with the Batman.
Yeah. And there's actually a tutorial on YouTube on how to make that exact hammer, and I know she used it because it has the Batman with the X's on his eyes.
And cute.
Yeah, so it is fun. So overall though, good books this week, pretty good. Next week on NCR, what are we? Communion. Next week on Communion, we have Suicide Squad number 18, Batman the Shadow number 2, Batgirl number 11, Wonder Woman number 23, and Deathstroke number 19. So stay tuned. We'll be back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. If you want to find us anywhere, we are on all social media at Nerd Church Radio. I am on Twitter at IndieComicBen. Where can we find you, Noah?
You can find me on social media sites like Facebook and Twitter at Noah O'Toole.
I'm on Twitter as Ariel the Oracle.
Awesome. And if you want to help us keep the lights on, we are at patreon.com/nerdchurchradio. If you donate to us, we'll send some rewards your way. We got all sorts of fun stuff we do. So thank you very much, and we will see you guys next week.